Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Realty Check. I'm your host, Trish Williams, and today we have a special guest with us. We have Mia Wolfe with Simply Vegas.
Hey.
Hi, Mia. Thank you for coming over here
thanks
today.
for having me. I could talk to you for hours.
I know. We were just like talking for a long time before the show. So today, I do apologize today. You guys are not going to see us live at 9:30. We're going to be live a little bit late because we had some streaming issues. So we're still going to be here, so don't worry about that. If you are watching the show, make sure to download it, subscribe to us on iTunes, and share it with your friends. Leave us a review. So we're in our series about starting a new career in real estate. And in this series, we're at part 3 right now, and we're talking about seeking and finding business through social media, engaging with people through video. And Mia, I just thought that you were going to be the perfect person to have on the show for this topic because you are always on video.
Oh, thank you. I love video. You know, I do. We all love video, right?
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. And tell me a little bit about that. When you're, first off, before we even get started in that, how long have you been in real estate?
You know, I think I'm on my 18th month of having my license, so.
Yeah. Okay, great. So you've had a very eventful, it's a little more than a year, but you had a very eventful first year.
Yeah.
How'd you do in your first year?
You know, it was, first of all, it was like a overnight thing. I just felt like, okay, I'm supposed to I turned 40, so that might have been the catalyst. This was like a midlife career change. So I got my real estate license and I was just like jumping in, you know, like, okay, I'm going to do this. My kids are all in school. Like, it's the perfect time. And, you know, people kept telling me it's going to take a little while to build up your business. You know, first I had no idea how much work real estate is. You know, you really are like, you know, it's kind of 24 hours sometimes.
So it's not just opening doors, showing houses and smiling?
No.
Isn't that what you thought it would be?
You know what? And I was like, I'm perfect for this because I love beautiful houses. I love meeting new people. I love all this stuff. But no, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of paperwork, which I wasn't, you know, the contracts and things like that, which I wasn't, you know, really like excited about. No, but I do love it now. But, you know, so for about 6 months, it was really a learning curve. I felt like, you know, I know why agents can't make it that first year. Thankfully, you know, my husband was able to you know, support me so much and get that started. And, you know, and I had people like, you know, I remember you giving me advice. I'd come to you. And the one thing I have to say, like, I always have loved and admired about you is you're not afraid to like help other people. Like, you know, whatever I know, like even this show is like sharing and adding value to people. And I remember coming to you and saying like, you know, sometimes I felt like I was getting more opportunity from other agents, you know, than even my own team or you know, the people I was working with. So I appreciate that. And it really did help me. And it kind of even goes into the flow of this. But, you know, so for about 6 months, I didn't really see a lot. After that, it was like in 6 months. I mean, I did like, gosh, over $2.5 million worth of volume within this 6 months period of people that I had been nurturing beforehand. So, you know.
So it took about 6 months to break through.
Seriously.
Right. That's a good way of putting it,
right? It really
right?
is. And I kind of wanted to, I mean, I was just like, is this even going to work? Am I cut out for this? You know, because your mindset is so important. And, you know, so I had to keep reassuring myself, like, I didn't come this far to stop now. So, like, if you're out there, you're thinking about this, like, you know, it's not really a part-time gig. Really, if you want to, you've got to focus and you've got to be like, I'm going to push through everything.
You've got to be all in and not willing to give up.
It's the truth.
It is the truth. That is 100% the truth. And it will beat you down.
You know what? It is a tough but rewarding career because I've got to help so many people, meet new people. And I have to say, like, I knew no real estate agents before this. And it's like all my best friends are real estate agents now. And we just like encourage and empower each other. So it's really cool.
That is really awesome. So this is really kind of the focus of the show of what I want to talk about here. Exactly what you mentioned. So I know because I watched you. I seen you going through this when you were starting out. Your first few months, you had spent mostly, I would say, kind of by the book, prospecting, doing the phone calls and the cold calling and while that works for some people, I'm a firm believer that that's not what works for everybody.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement?
It really is. And honestly, for about 6 months, I felt like I was locked in a cubicle, and like cold calling. And I was just like this is, I'm like, I'm in prison.
Yeah, right. And I remember watching from the outside looking in, and I was just like, oh, this poor girl, like that's not her happy space.
And even when I reached out to you, it like confirmed everything, because I didn't know there was another option. I've always done video with, ministry and different things I've done, and I loved doing that. And I didn't know that there was another avenue of as far as real estate goes and leads. So that's the truth. I did it by the book, and it didn't work for me.
Yeah, and today's show is about how to build a business and create business using social media. Now, again, if you hate social media and you hate being on video and you're more the opposite type of person, no, that's probably the traditional way of finding business is probably going to work better for you.
Right.
But if you are that person, I believe everybody's wired differently. If you're that person that's wired that way, you're going to find a lot more energy building a business this way than to go and spend hours and days on the phone.
It's really true. And I tried to make myself like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. And I'll never forget. I think it even came to you, because I was like, I was in tears, because I had, come into the office and somebody said, oh, I saw your video. And I was like, oh, what'd you think? Because it was like this beautiful house, and I was doing a Facebook Live, and you know how intimidating that can be to go Facebook Live. And it's a big step. After you do it once, then it's like you're a pro. But
I can never look at my videos.
Yeah, I don't.
When I go live, I can never watch the videos after, because then I'm just picking myself apart. So I just have to boom, play.
Me too. And I do that a lot too. But then I'm like, I remind myself that I'm have a Southern accent when I hear it, so I click it off. But I remember I did that, and they came back into the office, and somebody goes, you know what, and I said, oh, what'd you think? And they go, I think you should be in prospecting. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I remember that. I remember you told me that, and I was like, do not listen to them. You did.
No.
And everything in me, because I was so built up, and I was like, okay, this is my thing. I can do this. And I did get response. I did get interaction. I got leads off of that video. And for someone to tell me don't do it,
Yeah.
And I remember coming to you, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And you were like, don't listen to this, because you're going to get a lot of people have opinions about what you should be doing all the time. And I appreciate every aspect and angle of it, but it wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
And the social media aspect of it has been really how I built my business so far.
And what works for some people in real estate does not work for everybody. There's not. I've been in all the classes and all the, seminars that say, this is what you have to do, and you have to do this, and if you don't do this, you don't have a business. I have found that to be incorrect. It's just simply not true.
Well, and too, the thing about that was right before March, whenever the person had said that to me. All of a sudden, they were like, get in open houses, prospecting and stuff. All of a sudden, we couldn't do open houses. I can go take a video through an open house and get 8,000 people to see it versus 2 that are going to come in on Saturdays. So even that aspect of it has changed a lot of the things that I was taught about real estate.
Yes, and now, yes, we are doing video. We have found out that doing video can leverage a lot more time and get a lot more reach. Just over this last year, it's been an aha to most people, but I feel like I feel like I found that out a while ago and discovered that was a way that works. So you primarily post your videos on social media. Yeah. Do you have an outlet that you use more often, or?
I've always loved Facebook.
I always see you on Facebook.
I know.
But
I talk to people on Facebook. I have lunch tomorrow with a girl that I had met through Facebook in a group. Somebody would say, hey, she can help you with a rental. And we have a friendship. She moved here and they actually bought, and we're still, I'm kind of like you, I keep in connection with all of my clients, become friends, like lifelong friends, you know.
Right.
And so Facebook groups on Facebook, you know, people will tag me and stuff. So that's so interrelated, you know. It's just like its own little world. And, you know, my life is my business too. Like, you know, I have kids with me sometimes and I'll go show a house. You know, there's not two separate things. It kind of is all integrated. Does that make sense?
Right. No, that does make sense. Because I feel like that's me too. Like I have my my kind of like world on Facebook, but Facebook's kind of everything that's happening in together. So if people that follow me or that are friends with me on Facebook kind of know, you know, they know who my dog is, and they
like it's real. It's not fake. Like it's all real.
This is who I am, right?
Exactly.
And I feel like that is the reason why people are connecting with us, because you have. This is, I guess, old school versus new school is the way I look at it.
Modern real estate.
Modern real estate. You want to do business with somebody that you can relate with, that you feel comfortable with, that you feel like is trustworthy. And while it's great to look at someone with their amazing headshot from 20 years ago that, you know, just has their name on a card, or just the old school realtor, you don't know who this person is. You don't know what they're there for. You don't know, like, I guess their intentions or much about them, if they're really concerned or care for you or not. And I feel like showing yourself and being vulnerable enough, because it takes so much vulnerability to be able to show yourself live on video all the time, to be on video and to be like silly, stupid, but just be just you. You know, I mean, there's sometimes that I post videos, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awful. My hair looked horrible. Whatever's awful, but it's me. Oh, well, that's who I am.
People know what you look like.
Yeah, that's who I am today. That's who I am in the real world. That's who I am. And it doesn't matter, right? It's just me. But people want to work with somebody that they know is a real person, that does really care, that does really, you know, have same everyday feelings than this, you know, stiff person in a suit that they really
is
don't.
Connected. And even when we met, like, you know, you connect with somebody or you don't. You really want to work with somebody that you're connected with. I mean, this is a person you're going to be taking a journey with. You're going to be texting. I mean, I text more than I talk on the phone almost, you know, with clients, texting, emailing, sending videos. So, I mean, you know, that connection is important. You know, I've had people and like, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I have a question. And I'm like, that's my job. Like, I answer your questions. Don't apologize for calling me and asking a question, you know?
Right. And if you're confused, please let me know. I want to walk you through that. That's why you hired me.
Exactly.
I have answers. Yeah. Right. And that's if you don't ask questions, then I can't give you answers.
Right. And if somebody is making you feel like bad for calling them and asking them a question when you're doing the biggest step and biggest buy of your entire life or sell of your life, you know, it's probably not the best fit.
That's true.
Honestly.
That is absolutely true. And it's so many, we know real estate. That's why we have a license in it. That's why we do this as a business. We don't expect our clients to understand, you know, the everyday terminology that are in here. So, and there's some, it depends on your clients. There's some clients that are like, I could care less what that means. Just tell me what the outcome is.
I trust you. I trust you. And, you know, that's another thing with the even video and connecting with your audience, connecting with your clients and your friends is like, you want to trust the person that you're talking to, that they're not going to get upset with you if you ask them a question or ask you to explain something, you know, and you just want to have that trust with your real estate agent.
I agree. And Mia, another thing that I think is important to get into is using social media, which I feel like I do a lot. Even if I don't know somebody, there's a lot of times I get sign calls, you know, just someone that calls from a sign and they see my sign in the yard. They want to sell their house because I sold another house quickly or something like that. They don't know me. They don't know me at all. They don't know who I am other than, you know, whatever's on the internet. And I'll meet with them. I'll talk to them. I also make connections with them on social media because I want them to know who I am. Once we're working together, I want them to, you know, I mean, some people don't, you know, they could care less about, you know, that. But I do want them to be able to connect and know me and know I'm a real person. And another thing that I personally just, it's just just the way that I am, I don't like to sit down with someone and brag about, oh, I did, all of these things last year, or I'm the best because of this. And I know a lot of agents, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of agents will go into the listing appointment or go into whatever, and they're just going to, pile on all of their accolades and the reason why I'm better than everybody else. And I'm really not. I'm kind of the opposite. When I sit down with people, I'm like, if you know about me, you can look up reviews, look up whatever you want about me, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you how great I am. I'm going to ask you about what you want, what you're looking for, and find out what you need. But I do feel like, in a way, some people have to see that. They have to know that. And I feel like social media kind of does that for you. If somebody's interested in knowing the story, knowing your background, knowing what you've done, your social media feed can tell the story for you.
It's true. It is so, especially for new agent, because you don't have all these sales behind you. You don't have all these, all these years of experience. But what I've experienced is, I'm out and I'll do, a video tour. People see me all day long. They see me showing houses. They see me doing contracts, doing closings. They see these little glimpses and they know that I'm busy. I'm hustling. I'm out there with my clients. I'm out there in the field.
Right.
And, they see it. It speaks for itself, right?
and that's the truth of it too. Is you're not being an agent. So the average real estate agent, by statistics, sells 3 to 5 houses per year. Correct. We're obviously doing more than that, a lot more than that. And if your last sell was last year in March, would you say the market's changed?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the last 2 houses I listed and one I sold was completely through video. These people had never even seen the house in person. How could you do that if you're not on social media?
Right.
I mean, it was like FaceTime tours, you know what I mean? And the market is like multiple offers, it's tough for buyers right now. Great for our sellers.
Great for sellers. But so if a buyer were to hire an agent, that is an average agent, sells 3 to 5 houses a year. Their last sell was, say, last year in March, and their agent hasn't done another sell since then. Maybe works a part-time job, or nothing against part-time agents, or whatever. But they just haven't been in the market, seeing what's happening right now. They hire this agent to help them find a home. Do you think that it's going to be a shock to the agent on the market that we're in now versus the last time they sold a home?
Oh yeah, probably, because it's like, if it comes on the market, you got to run out and see it right now. You need to find out if there's offers on it before you even head out there. It is for our buyers, we really have to move right now.
And you think it's probably the agent, because the agent doesn't realize the market that we're in, they'll probably lose a few houses.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can lose houses right now being experienced, but you'll lose a few houses just until you figure out how hot the market is. And that's something that, when it comes to experience with an agent, even as a seller, as a listing agent, if your listing agent doesn't realize the market that we're in now versus the last time they listed a home, it could cost you money.
Oh yeah, I've even wrote, deals out that didn't get accepted, and we're like, writing in things like, we'll pay this much over appraisal price, over list price, and they have to know how to get the contracts accepted, and I think you do too, like, sometimes buyer's letters or different things like that. And you know what, agent relationships is huge too.
Oh yeah.
I have, like, I'll call people, like, do you have any listings coming up? What's going on? Did anything fall out of contract? Because that's how we get our buyers into what they need, is all of our relationships. And a lot of that has to do with social media. Yeah,
a lot of it does have to do with social media. And I have many of times on both the listing side and the buyer side talked to another agent that I had known, worked with before, or even been friends with on social media that were like, yes, I'd love to go into contract with you. I'd love to work a deal with you. And the process is a lot smoother that way. And I feel like that actually helps them bring buyers to our listings versus, no one wants to go into, well, if the house is the right house for our buyers or whatever, we're going to go into contract with any agent, no matter how our previous experiences were with them. but it does always make it a lot more pleasant, and I feel like it does bring a lot more foot traffic having those good relationships with other agents.
And the communication as far as agents, when two agents can just communicate about a deal, and even things like, oh, washer and dryer and this and that, you know what I mean? It really does make, in my experience, for a smoother deal for both sides.
Yes, because negotiations is more about win-win for both sides. Neither side, buyer nor seller, wants to feel like they got completely screwed over. And if they do, they're going to have pushback, and it's going to cause obstacles. And I always like to try to work with people, even though we're trying to negotiate things, I'll try to work with the agents to make it a win for both sides, to make sure that both people walk away happy. The seller says, I got what I wanted, and the buyer feels like they got what they wanted.
Right. And even my sellers, like, they want the best for the people that are buying their house. They want them to enjoy their house. They want, are always concerned about, that they're happy in the deal too. So, I love real estate for that fact that it's like, it is people kind of, their dream is to move up, and it's always a big life change for them, and I love being part of that.
Yeah. And that is something that goes back to relationships, that that about them, because there are so many agents out there that know nothing about their sellers. They don't know about their intents, their feelings towards the buyers, nothing, because they don't have a relationship with them. It's just a transaction.
Oh, it's true. And even in my experience with buying houses and selling and even rentals was such a cold transaction. And I even, I take personal photos of my buyers and their houses and try to make it so personal, because it's like, you keep a baby book of your life, of kids' lives. My social media, my Facebook is like my journal. And it's an important occasion, your first home, your second home, where your babies are going to be born at. You want to have a great feeling about that time.
Yes. You know what I love? One of my favorite things is around Christmas time, because most of my clients and past clients are my social media friends, Facebook specifically. But I love when it's Christmas time and I see everybody posting their Christmas photos, and I'm like, I sold in that house.
I do too.
That's so amazing.
I actually put a picture up. I had went to, and this was one of the first homes I had sold, and they were really, became friends. She was like my eyebrow girl. You're like, got to be best friends with your eyebrow girl, right? And I ended up helping them buy their first home, and I go over there. I know their kids, and I saw it was like a Christmas ornament. It said, our first ornament in our new home. And to me, I'm like, that may not, it gives me goosebumps when I even look, because I'm sure it would have been possible, but it was like we were celebrating. She worked very hard to get this house and to get things in order to be able to do it, and I was so proud of them. And it was just like, for all of us, it was just like a great occasion. So I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. I was the person that sold me my first home. I actually sat across a desk from him a few years later in a interview conference, whatever you want to call it. He didn't know he sold me my first home. No, he did. No, he didn't. He didn't remember me.
Right.
That was the bad. He had no idea that. I was like,
how do you not remember me?
You don't, I meant nothing. No, so that is that's I guess a little different.
It really is. It's hard for me to kind of. And business is business, and relationships are relationships. But like I said, this is my life too. Like, I want the best for everybody. I want good relationships with people. And, I think that's a part of even attracting like your ideal client. You hear a lot, is the people are going to connect with you that you're going to work with and have a good relationship with.
Right.
I love that.
Right. So do you have a strategy that you use when you're out? I know one of the things when we bring people on the team, or I'm talking to like a new agent and training them, I say, go out to brand new homes. If you have nothing, if you have no listings to show, or you have nothing to show on social media, go to brand new homes, go to new construction, and see what they have. Take video, show people, because there's models all over, and the average person's not out looking at models every day, and that may be something that they like, showing those videos. Do you have a strategy that you use? I know you're always touring homes on video. Is it just homes that you're touring? My
strategy is just being out. Like, you know, I've been out showing a client a house, and I've met clients in the road that were like just looking at the house and be like, can you get us a showing here? We don't have an agent. And I'll be like, I'll meet you back here in an hour, and meet them there, and, you know, sold them a house. Yeah. So I think when you're out and your eyes are opened, look for any opportunity that is around you, and you're not trying to sell, you're just being, you know, inquisitive about your surroundings, your community, talking to people, being friendly, just saying hi to people. Like, you're naturally going to walk into business.
Yes, most definitely. People, I mean, it's magnetic. People want to do business with people that...
It is, and if you're out looking to serve people rather than sell people, you know, I mean, that's what catches me. You know what? When I have a waitress that like goes over and above and is just, you know, not trying to upsell me, but honestly bringing a napkin because they noticed my kid needed a napkin or something like that, you know, that speaks to me, and I think it speaks to other people too.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is 100% behind everything, and it does. It's natural. It will bring business to you. So when people are doing using social media, if you were to talk to a new agent that struggling in the business, someone to maybe that was in the same shoes you were, you know, they're on the phones and they're doing all the, you know, the phone calls and calling FSBOs and expireds like they're supposed to, or they're trained to do, and they're having struggles with that, and they're thinking about maybe trying to leverage or use social media to help them find business. What would be advice you would give them to get started with that?
I think like being community oriented, even, you know, like if you go in and you know, love this popcorn here or something like this, like write a post about it, you know, relate to people, be relatable. You know, honestly, I like a picture of a house is great and the stats about it is great, but you know, people want to see you. They want to see your real life. I was at the park yesterday, and it kind of like it clinched my heart because I heard two moms. I was sitting there watching my kid on the swing, and of course, you know, where I was on my phone trying to schedule showing, I heard two moms behind me talking, and she goes, "Can you believe a real estate agent called me and said," they were like, "Do you want to sell your house?" and blah blah blah. Can we leave? You know, can we make an appointment? And she goes, don't they know that if I wanted to sell my house, I would call somebody that I knew? You know, she was just like that was in her mind. She was telling her friend that. When her friend gets a call like that, you know what I mean? It was completely impersonal, and she was relating it to somebody else. And I think we all feel that way. You know, it's different if I know you and we're talking about it in conversation or whatever, you know, and drumming up business is, you know, a completely different thing. But she was talking about it like, can you believe, do you think, I mean, is she going to sell her house with that person that called?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. Probably a block their phone number.
And you know what I did? I, you know, chimed into their conversation, and I'm friends with both of them on Facebook now. And our kids play together. So, you know, I mean, it is like being out and being aware, like, of what's going on around you is that's our business. That's what we do.
And being aware of what people, going back to that, what people need and what people want.
Right.
What do they want? They don't want someone that says, "Hey, want to sell your house?" Like
out of nowhere.
Yeah, they want someone that is, when they're ready. And this is one thing that I think I said it last week on the show, and I'll say it again, is that the people that I talk to and the people that we communicate with, it's not a matter of like, do you want to sell your house today? I'm going to talk you into selling your house. Of course, I'm not going to talk you into selling your house. When you're ready, I want you. I want to be the person. That's all. That's all that we want. Whenever it is time, whenever you're ready, I want you to know that I am good enough to be considered for that job, and I will definitely interview for that job and tell you what I can do for you, and you can compare. And I feel like when people compare the value of what a good agent has to offer, it'll be a no-brainer from there. And that's what it needs. That's the message we're trying to get across.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's good. And I think that for a new agent, if you're a new agent and you're looking to find ways to build business or get engagement, using social media to stay top of mind, to stay in front of people, to let them know that you are doing real estate, go out, tour some homes, tour new construction homes, tour resale homes, tour everything. Do it on video so people can see what you're doing. Don't be afraid to be on video. That's definitely, it's not always perfect. It's not always edited. And it's better.
It is. People, and we do edited things, and this show will be edited. I hope you can edit me out.
No, it's not. It's not going to be edited.
Oh, it's not.
No.
Well, but people
we do
like
it raw and uncut.
organic. People like organic videos.
People like real.
They like reality TV is like the number one shows. I love reality TV. People like real. They like to see when you mess up, and they don't hold you accountable for it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I know those great edited commercials. I see those and like, wow, they look amazing. But you always wonder what are they really like? So I feel like being real and not being afraid to be real and not being afraid to just get out there and be in person is going to really connect with people a lot better. And don't be I mentioned this, I used to teach classes, in the office, that I would always say, like, don't be secret, don't be a secret agent. Make sure that people know what you do.
Yeah, sure.
That is definitely, you can use social media to help get that across and to leverage that, but make sure people understand and know what you do, know that you're in real estate. There's so many realtors that will tell, they're happy to pass out cards to complete strangers or tell people that they don't know that they're a realtor, but the people they do know, they are scared to talk to.
Yeah, I know. I had people celebrate with me when I was going through my testing and getting my license and being part of that journey. And I have so many people that are like, I love watching you with real estate and seeing all the things that you're doing. So they're like, they're connected with that.
They're cheering you on. They're happy. They're part of it.
They send me business. They know me. They know what I stand for, my values, my work ethic, and they are the ones that, and I know you work off referrals now. My
business is primarily referrals.
That's your business. And when you first started out, it wasn't like that. A lot of agents will pass up rentals. That was something that it changed my aspect on everything, and I went to you a lot to ask questions, and you always provided it, and wasn't shy about answering my questions, and was like, the rentals, like, don't pass up the rentals. I did 3 deals this year that were just like from Facebook, looking for a rental, no agents want to deal with that, and I just took the time to reach out to them, helped them look for a rental. We realized and discovered that they really could buy. And they saved money buying, and it was the perfect timing, and and celebrated with them all the way around, and it was it was a great experience.
Right. And sometimes, the renters will see that it makes way more sense to buy once you take the time to run the numbers with them. And these days, gosh, you have to have a 600 or better credit score just to get your rental application accepted.
It's
so
the truth. It's
why are you not buying?
Sometimes it's easier to buy sometimes. And there's so many things that we know, but it's just like having that conversation with somebody, just having a normal conversation, and not even necessarily a buyer consult, like come in the office and do this, like a Facebook messenger, like, well, hey, what's your timeline? What's this look like? Like an authentic conversation with somebody.
Yeah, most definitely. And that is, it means, it makes such the difference for people. And, when there's a brand new agent that is not doing any business, there's no reason why you should overlook a rental. It's not, in our industry, it's like frowned upon, I guess, or it's like, no, don't. Because yes, by all means, you can definitely spin your wheels a lot. It's a lot harder work for almost nothing return. But it's definitely going to, you're providing a service, you're meeting people, you're getting out there, and if you're not doing anything else anyways, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be doing it.
Right, it's the truth, and people, appreciate your help. I remember looking for rentals, couldn't find anybody to help me, trying to navigate it. It's like people are stressed out, and they need your help. Really.
Yeah. So just coming from contribution, just being that person to just go and be able to reach out and help people is great. Yeah. So Mia, do you have anything else that you would like to close with or add to our audience before you go?
No, just that, if you are intimidated by going on social media or Facebook, just if you get one interaction, make sure you like the post, respond back to people, like interact with them. If you're going to be on social media, don't just put up a cold post and then not even respond to anybody that took the time to, make a comment or like or interaction. Like interact with the people around you, and you will be amazed at, the business that will just naturally come from it.
Yes. And again, we see plenty of just listed photos on social media.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's try to get a little more
creative
with that. Yeah. So I do. One of the things I say is I do have a business page. It's the Trish Williams team page. That's my commercial. That's all the, just listed, just sold, just in contract. That's there.
Right.
It's there. But on your personal page, you don't want to be a constantly running commercial. Be authentic. Be a real person.
That's right. And
people will connect with it better.
Really, and if you like Facebook, then do Facebook. Focus on Facebook. If you're Instagram, focus on Instagram. If you're TikTok, focus on TikTok. It's just one thing. Be good at one thing.
Be good at one thing. Yeah, that's me. I still. Instagram, I'm not really on there. Every once in a while I'll post on there, but no, Facebook's my thing. I just know it runs.
Where your people are, be where your people are, and then you know what they're looking for. I mean, people are asking questions, just you need to pay attention and interact with them.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. And if people want to contact Mia, you have a banner at the bottom of the screen that will have your contact information. And do you want to tell your phone number to the audience?
Sure. It's 702-412-7255. And you can find me on Facebook. I'll be all over.
She's all over Facebook.
All over. You'll see this video on my Facebook.
Yeah, so. She's all over Facebook. She is always on video. I love it. We've gone, 6 months maybe without seeing each other, and I feel like I see you every day.
Me too. I know what's going on. And that's the beauty of video too, especially when we're at home. We know what everybody's up to.
We know what everyone's up to. We seen them just yesterday, even though we didn't see them in person. So that's amazing. Technology has definitely brought us a long way.
I love it.
So if you guys need to reach out to me, you know how to reach me, and my phone number 702-308-2878. Make sure that you are following our show, subscribe to us, download us on iTunes, and we will look forward to seeing you guys next week. Next week is our last part of our 4-part series of starting a new career in real estate. And then following that, we're going to start a whole new series about different financing types. So different types of loans that you can get into home ownership. So that's going to be a really fun series as well. And we look forward to having you guys tune in. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us on Realty Check.